You are now listening to Wavy Sound.
All right, welcome to another members only presentation of Versus Mike History. I'm your host, Michael History, and we got Low College in the building. Peace, my brother. How you doing?
Sir, I'm good. How you doing, bro?
Just chilling, you know. Appreciate you coming on to the platform to speak to me, have a conversation, and just let my audience know who you are, and let's get into some simple conversations and some things that people may want to get to know about you. So
Right,
I want to start by hopping in um on like the early stages of your life, what influenced you to get into music, and how did your environment play in that part also?
no doubt. Um, with me, man, I had hoop dreams growing up and shit. I wanted to be Larry Johnson and shit when I was a little kid. But it's so crazy because like one thing I can say though, I was just always a culture baby. Like, it's funny, like anything that came on TV, bro, like we ate it up.
Mm-hmm.
We ate the shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Definitely.
So, my sister when we was young, she was like a Brandy fanatic. She went to see Brandy at the mall, got an autograph. Like we was them type of kids, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we watching Thea, Moesha, we watching House Party, Sister Act 2. We doing the raps, we singing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful that my mom wasn't the type of mom that was like, yo, can't watch certain shit because we watched everything. Martin, just all of that, just the whole culture, you know what I'm saying? We've been into it. So as I got old, I feel like all just as a culture thing, all young black kids have tried to write a rap at some point, and I feel like I just was good at it. You know what I mean? So I
Nah, for
kept
sure.
going. Mm-hmm.
Word. So, where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Central Jersey. I'm from Neptune.
Okay.
Family's from Neptune, Asbury Park, born and raised.
Mm-hmm. And how describe that area and like how it influenced you growing up in general, not as a musician?
Yeah. It's a melting pot. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like how I am. It's like well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Every like no matter where you're from in the town, because it's so small, when you walk out that door in the morning, you got decisions, man. You faced with decisions, so you can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would walk that line a little bit, growing up. We was into everything, but I always knew the ledge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's always, that's what it's about, knowing the ledge. I always knew the ledge, and I never wanted anybody who knew me or had a part of me growing up to look at me and not recognize me no more. You know what I'm saying? So, I always like walked that line, but I knew what I wanted to do and I knew what I didn't want for my life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for it. Like I said, man, I could have, it's like you got kids that don't get in the shit where we at. You know what I mean? You can go duck off
Yeah.
and not get in the shit, but we wasn't them kids. We was outside. You know what I'm saying? For real. For
Word.
real, we was outside. So we had decisions to make. And I made some good ones.
Definitely.
Mm.
Um, what would you say was your first like or your earliest memory of like consuming music and like really just being influenced by like a body of music?
Yeah. My mom, man, my mom super is always into music, and it's so funny because my mom is always into current music. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people think I get the old school shit from her, but like my mom now, she listening to Nip, you know what I'm saying, shit like that.
Yeah.
So back in the day, she had the Tupac tapes and shit. You know what I mean? She was a big Biggie fan. Tupac all the way down to Rex and Effects, just Sade, just she just loved music. You know what I'm saying? We always and one thing about my mom, my mom from she from the project. So when she was young, she ain't really have much. So when we was coming up, she wanted us to do everything. So it was a lot of long car rides, whether it be to Sesame Place, to DC, to Philly, to Disney on Ice, to fucking basketball game. We was always in the car. So it was always music. You know what I'm saying? And I got it. And like I said, I like, you know, like the movies, like the hip hop movies, man, like the house parties and Sister Act 2 and shit like that. Shit like that too. When I was young, bro, I used to watch I used to rent them type of movies every time we went to the fucking video store. My mom be like, yo, you gotta get something. Every time, bro, I would be trying to get fucking House Party or Baby's Kids. My sister would be getting Sister Act 2 and we'd watch that shit like we never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Okay, so we spoke about your musical influences a little bit, but like at what point did you realize like music was something that you wanted to do for yourself?
Good question. Man, probably like by the time I was around like 10, 11, me and my boy Quick, man, we had the little karaoke machine and shit, and we was just into everything. Like, it's so funny now, like to hear the way new generation talks about certain rappers, and it's just really no respect for a lot of the old school rappers and shit. But we listened to everything, bro. Like we was Redman, we was fucking all the Jay-Z shit. But when 50 came out, I feel like that's when it was like, yo,
huge shift.
Yeah, it was like, yo, nah, like I want to fucking. First of all, I want to have a big, I got a big ass knife in my pocket. You feel me? I'm 12, and I want to rap. Like I want to rap to this shit. Even if I ain't writing my shit, I want to rap all this shit. I knew every fucking word, Lloyd Banks, 50, all that shit. So, that's when it started. That's when it was like, yo, we gonna get a microphone. We gonna try this shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that 50 era, that was a very critical era, especially like in our area, like the Northeast, because like to go from musicians and rappers like who mostly from our area who like rap about money and cars and women to like stick up jobs and robberies and that get back, it makes a huge impact on our sound. And for people who like were on a straight and narrow path, like it definitely takes shape in a different way.
For sure. That energy was crazy. Remember that shit? Man? That energy was something that we ain't seen before, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be all in that shit, you know what I'm saying? So 50, I think 50 was the first thing that was like, all right, I'm gonna try to write some raps. You know what I'm
saying? But that was like a long time ago, like 20 years ago, that album dropped almost.
Right.
The path, your personal path, where does that bring you? Where does that album bring you in terms of you get into your first project?
Okay, yeah. So you gotta think that's early middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade, we writing raps. But I'm playing basketball.
Okay.
Playing football. Like, that's what I was known for in my area and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody knew me, they knew, yo, he hoop, played football. So, going into high school, I'm just starting quarterback.
Okay.
I'm starting on the basketball team, and it's just all sports, but I had a crew and we was getting into shit. So we getting into shit, we making diss songs about niggas and shit. So I'm still rapping. Like, I'm rapping, like we gotta rap. That was a part of it when you was in high school, dissing niggas and you in the real shit, you and shit. We gotta make the diss tracks. Your words of mine. So I always was good though. I always was good at it. You know what I'm saying? But when I got to college, blog era, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's really all you got to say for me.
You know what I'm saying? You see J. Cole, you see it with, because growing up, high school is like, yo, especially where I'm in high school, 06, 07. If you ain't Jeezy, Lil Wayne, Kanye,
word.
The fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what you doing out here?
Yeah, you done out here. You ain't doing shit. So
you got one single, one album, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you ain't about to be making, like, it's just like, if you ain't on the radio back then, you ain't exist to niggas. You feel what I'm saying?
Facts.
So the blog era comes and it's like, oh shit, J. Cole, Wiz, Mac Miller, Freddie Gibbs, fucking Big Sean, all those dudes, and it was like, yo, we could do this shit. We could do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my man knew his way around the camera. I had other niggas that knew how to record and shit, and it was like, nah, we gonna do this shit ourselves to the face. You know what I'm saying? That's when I put my first mixtape out, 2011. Nah, 2010. Yeah. That was the year after my first year. So the whole first year I plotted, you know what I'm saying? And then,
Yeah.
and then I came back and I dropped the album, you know what I'm saying? Mixtape.
Word. And what was that experience like? That first project? Do you can you recollect any of that?
Yeah, I think at that point it was like, all right, I know what I'm doing in life. I know I'm not, I'm not choosing the streets. Like,
Yeah.
that shit is out. I'm not going that way. So I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm
Mhm.
19. I fully know who I am and I know what my path is. So it's like, all right, all right. I need to talk about shit that I do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a big thing. And I feel like that was the big thing right there that got people fucking with me because at that time niggas was still lying. Everybody was lying. So it was like, yo, damn,
Word.
this nigga talking about what he doing. I was on SoundClick trying to get original beats. Niggas wasn't doing that shit. Not where I'm from.
Word.
Niggas was
Hmm.
freestyling off of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Trying
trying
to be
to,
Wayne.
you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get
Word.
original beats. I'm trying to make an album. Cushion Orange was just dropped, nigga. That nigga got original joints. I'm like, nah, I want to make an album. Fuck that.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I feel like, me just knowing myself and being able to look in the mirror and be satisfied with myself as a man, knowing I'm not in the streets, I'm not a street dude. And yeah, I fucking took off after that. That's when it was like, yo, nah, this is what I'm gonna do. And people was fucking with it.
Word. Um. Okay. So you drop your first project. You come to the realization that music is what you want to do with your life, but while coming to that realization, there's still a gap between, that realization that like, yo, music is what I want to do in my life, or
Mhm.
is a passion of mine, versus like, all right, this is a business. Like, how
Right.
do I get my affairs in order? How I get like my paperwork right and make sure that I'm squared away from when this becomes real.
Right. With me, I ain't gonna lie, at that time, we was in the nip heavy too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hate to be one of them niggas like, yo, we knew about this. But it never, that nip shit, like when he passed, that wasn't nothing like, oh, we fuck with Nip. No, we fuck with Nip heavy from the beginning. You feel me?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
we hear niggas talking about, yo, we have a brand, we have a business, yo,
yeah.
get this in order. Yo, we was coming with it. We like, all right, we gotta have a brand. We doing
Word.
merch. We trying to be
Mm-hmm.
legit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Word. Like,
Fuck getting discovered. What the fuck is getting discovered? Like,
facts. Like,
we here. We got the internet. We here.
we already working hard.
Yeah, we here. You feel me? I ain't trying to make it. I made it.
The word.
I'm able to pull. I'm able to make a fucking t-shirt.
Word.
I made it. Fuck that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So we was
Yeah.
there. We was there early. You know what I'm saying? Like 2020. By 2012, we was in full swing with all of that. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Yeah.
Word. Word. Okay. Um, we're knocking everything down right now. I'm trying to figure out like
Good. It's good. It's a good comp. Yo, people don't ask me this type of shit. Though. Everything you ask me, like I don't think I've answered the. People come with the who your influences, which is good too. But yeah,
Mhm.
we killing it right now.
Well,
You killing it.
appreciate you.
Mhm.
So let's talk about like, you know, let's move up to like modern times. Like John Blaze just came out a couple weeks ago. I don't want to get into that specifically yet, but like I
Mhm.
kind of want to talk about like the pandemic era that we're in
Yeah.
and like how that like what that kind of kicked off for you because everybody has experienced different things in this window of time, and I kind of want to get you like your insight about your experience.
Um, Pandemic, man. Before the pandemic, we was heavy into like throwing shit. It was a real like, yeah, you got to come outside thing.
Word.
And if you realize where music went when the pandemic started, now you got Freddie Gibbs, you got Nas winning the first Grammy. It's like people are listening back.
Mm-hmm.
People are like listening because it ain't all party shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
niggas is in their cars, going to work, whatever. Niggas is home listening and shit. So it took a little. I think in the beginning it took me a little while to adapt, but I'm realizing that content is key, man. Good content, and just we gonna work this internet thing till we can't no more. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I feel like it made it kind of easier. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be everywhere. You know, we were trying to get everywhere. We were trying to be in
Yeah.
A360, South by South, but we were trying to be everywhere.
Word.
And now it's like,
Dallas, Miami, LA, like
everywhere. Basel, bro. We trying to be everywhere. Bro.
word.
So I think, though we still want to do those things, I feel like now it's really about mastering this internet thing and mastering the content. And not it ain't like we gotta put out garbage content and just do shit just cause, but we got cameras, we live them type of lives where we got content for days. So it's just like, let's work it. Let's work YouTube. Let's work Instagram. Let's have fun with it. Stay home, be safe. Let's just use our brains. Let's get creative. Let's get creative as possible. Shit made me want to get more creative too. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah.
And in terms of like collaborating with different people across the state and things like that, how what's been your experience?
It's been a great experience, man.
And not even, and my bad to cut you off, not even just on like a music level, but like in terms of like people helping you put your projects together and different engineers, maybe things like that. I don't want you to just box it in with music.
Right. Well, you know what's crazy, right? I had an idea, and I'm not scared to share it because even if I still do it, I'm gonna do it. But I feel like everybody. I feel like I want to, and I want to do something where it's like, yo, just put up flyers everywhere. Joe College is making an album. And I want everybody involved. Like, if you're a fucking Instagram comedian, I want your take on what's going on. If you do podcasts, I want your take on what's going on. If you make merch, I want your take on what's going on with the album. And if you look at my Instagram now, I was doing something called By John Blaze. I mean John Blaze By. My fault. John Blaze By. John Blaze By was like, yo, if you're, I don't give a fuck if you're a chef, if you're a comic artist, if you were just any kind of artist, I want your take on what John Blaze is to you. Like I'm always like so hands-on, right? And so it's like, nah, I wanted to show up, right? And people take their pictures. Like I said, if you're a chef and you make some food that look like me, I want you to take the fucking picture and I'm gonna upload. If you're a kid artist and you scribbling with John, that's why I had the one fit on. If you scribbling with John Blaze, I want you to take you know what I'm saying? So I feel like with me with collaboration right now, like you said, it ain't even a big thing with music. Like I got a couple collaborations, but they really my friends. You feel me? I collaborate with my friends, and you know, anybody I meet that's cool. But I wanted to collaborate with everybody. Like, if whatever you do, we can figure the shit out. You know what I'm saying?
And do you think that that's like, because you know, in Jersey we have like a real, I feel like there's definitely a large collaborative spirit going around. But as a more established artist, do you think is better to kind of close that off or like gate that off, or do you think that like on a larger platform you still want to collaborate with like a lot of artists in the industry and things like that?
I'm starting to realize how important collaboration is, man. Fucking Michael Jackson was on the hook of Stevie Wonder, All I Do. Like you really listen and shit. But I just feel like the more you collaborate, it opens it just opens up your, how can I say this? It opens up your creativity. I know me too, I'm a fucking competitive dude. So I love getting on tracks with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Them verses is way different than when I'm on there alone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm a big fan of collaboration. I feel like it gotta make sense. Like you ain't gotta just be doing shit just cause. But from now on, because I didn't really collaborate like that back in the day. But from now on, I want to collaborate heavy. Like I want to collaborate with everybody. I want to see what we can make together. You know what I'm saying? It's art. So yeah.
You mentioned artists like Freddie Gibbs and Wiz and Currency. Do you believe in that archetype or structure of a project where you lock in with one producer and y'all just go crazy?
Yeah, we call that, well, I'm pretty sure everybody calls that. We call it boutique projects. Yeah, I honestly think right now in the space that I'm in, I want to do that with every project. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like I feel like it opens up two different markets, you know what I'm saying? And people who got they got their super fans, I got my super fans, and bring them together. With producers, it's even better because it's not a bunch of voices on the song. It's like, yo, you do beats and shit, and I make the rhymes and shit, so it's an easier collaboration. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of the Alfredo shit. That was like one of my favorite fucking projects. Shit. So I feel like it worked. Yeah, I feel like it works.
It definitely works. It definitely works. But like a lot of people feel like when it comes to like major projects or things like that, like they have to like keep the variety, and hip hop just the way it has progressed and aged over the time. But those specific artists that you named, I know I personally still prefer that boutique style, because like you said, you get two different audiences, they lock in together, or they got that familiarity, and it almost always delivers.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm mad medicated, so I'll be thinking about shit later. But you know why that's important as fuck too? Because I don't like albums that's all over the fucking place. Like this
Nah,
shit gotta
definitely
sound
not.
like, this shit gotta
Cohesiveness is
sound,
very, very important.
bro, that's everything. Like you think of like fucking, I remember the first time I heard The Weeknd and shit, right? House of Balloons. You didn't even realize when the song changed. Like I love that.
Facts.
That's
Facts.
an experience, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be all over the place. Like if I want this type of song, I'm gonna go listen to that artist. Like I don't want, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like give me one mood, give me one
Yeah.
mood, thing, making it experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to
Mhm.
be on a roller coaster to the album. You know what I'm saying? Just yeah. So that's I feel like that's super important to me when making an album. And it's
Mhm.
so crazy how Nas started it, and he kind of started that with Illmatic, and that made sense maybe because of the way music was being made at the time. All of those New York had that one sound, but I
Yeah.
feel like in the latter years and shit, that shit is failing. I hate that shit. I hate the albums all over the place.
Or it's like I wouldn't even say that you can't, because it's like it's plenty of, I mean, we have plenty of classic hip hop albums that like have vast amounts of producers, but I think that more so in this era specifically is like, yo, there is room for both.
Right.
Like if you feel like you can put your album together and have lock in with, lock in with that one producer, and then
Yeah.
create, the same magic that you would if, you called in all the favors to all your homies and, the industry friends and things like that, then cool. But I think that like is a lot of times that we've seen it in recent time, like it's like there's like a narrative or an agenda behind it, and I mean, this is just a specific instance, but one I specifically didn't understand at the time, maybe more so now, was the Juice World Future project. And
Yeah.
not to say that I dislike Juice World or Future, but like at the time when they came together, it just didn't make sense to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a similar fan base, but like I think cohesively, I don't think that the project worked as much as much as they thought it would have.
Yeah, I agree. It was a couple songs, but for the most part, it was like, did we need this?
It was like a numbers game. Like that's
Yeah.
how I felt. Like it was like, all right, let's take the biggest young artist and take like a veteran and see what
Right.
they go do together.
But do you feel like, right? So we were talking about like, so even if you have a bunch of producers, right?
Mhm.
Now somebody got to set the tone though, right? So like
Definitely.
I keep going back, but you know, it shit still happens. It still happens with Drake album, whatever. But you think about a reason to doubt, like Ski Beats and him set the tone,
Mhm.
and you get the other producers, and it's like they going kind of kind of make they shit in the same vein of what Ski Beats
Mhm.
did, or like Drake, whoever Drake working with. Well, nah, Drake is different because
Yeah.
he's the biggest artist. I guess he got to do different shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it's still got to be you and the producer. Y'all set the tone, and
Mhm.
then everybody else you work with kind of, you know.
To be honest, I like when bringing up Drake is like, I don't think that Drake is still Drake without 40 there on every album.
Right. I
Like
agree.
yo, the biggest artist in the world is locking in with the same producer on every album.
Right. Right.
So it just goes to show that formula in hip hop still definitely works.
Right. Because then you got 40, but then you got Boy Wonder coming in. And though they're two different producers, it's the
Mhm.
same. It's like the
Yeah.
same thing. You know what I'm saying? Which I love. You know what I'm saying? So now I agree. I agree.
It's like getting a Kanye from a No ID. Like it's
Right.
like soul
Right.
beats. You feel me? Like
Now,
um
yeah, exactly.
so let's get into John Blaze a little bit. This is a very fine crafted project.
Thank you.
I noticed that, and we spoke about the difference between locking in with multiple producers versus one, and I kind of want to get into your process of putting this project together specifically.
Okay. So Yeah, it was like I was working on. Matter of fact, this is before. You know what's crazy? This is before the project with Marcus and shit. I started like crafting this or whatever. Start crafting John Blaze, but I just feel like me linking up with Luke Group, Shotty, and Dan. I just feel like we was just similar dudes, just from different areas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Planted that seed. Probably 20, the end of 2022, the end of 2020. Planted that seed. I already had what I wanted to do. I already had John Blaze. I already had the name. I already had the character. I already had what I wanted to do with it. But I wanted like, I feel like the dynamic with Shotty and Dan is like, Dan is a veteran within the music. Shotty is a fresh mind. And I feel like I needed a fresh mind because I needed something to sound obscure. Like I didn't want nothing that sound too polished. I feel like when you work with veteran producers, sometimes they be like, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this way. That's not how it goes." But
Yeah.
Scotty was more like, "If it sound good, we gonna do that shit." You know what I'm saying? It's not perfect, but it is perfect. It's like RZA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so
It's just raw.
yeah, it's raw, you know what I'm saying? And then Dan was there to put the seal on it. You know what I mean? To make sure everything's sounding right and to bring in those good drums when we need them and shit. And I feel like it just worked out perfect.
Yeah. And like I just want to comment on that, what you just said, because it's like, yo, like in hip hop, like that's one of the things that I love about hip hop. Like, yo, you could go into a project and say, yo, I want that raw shit. Like I want a raw, genuine, like we go in, we do it. That's how it sounds. That's how it's going to be. Versus like you could also go into it like I want it to be polished.
Right.
Like there's nothing wrong with one or the other, and I
Right.
think that that's like one of the great things about this culture, this hip hop shit.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like where I'm at right now, where the game is right now and shit like that though, I feel like I didn't want to fucking like I want niggas when they want Joe College John Blaze, they come to me. Like I didn't want to make no shit that sound like nobody shit, man. I didn't want to be singing. I didn't want a bunch of double time shit. I wanted my own shit, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so I feel like that was like a obligation that I had to myself and my fans, man, that you wasn't gonna get me trying to sound like nobody else. Like I'm a grown ass man at this point, man. I know who I
no
am,
doubt.
and I'm gonna just go out the way I want to go out, whichever way it goes. Whether niggas love it, cool. If you don't like it, what Kanye say? Fast forward.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And with putting the project out, a lot goes into that. Shout out to the homie Niles who did the artwork.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of other people behind the scenes who helped you put together the release party and things
Mhm.
like that. And those people who come in after the music is done, I kind of want to speak on that process as well, because I feel like we kind of overlook the process of the rollout, like often
Yeah.
as artists, as music artists at least. And those post-production people are definitely very essential, and I want to focus on that a little bit.
Right. I be scouting motherfuckers months before I talk to them though. It's so crazy because even with
Me too,
Nas,
yo, because I mean, like with the podcast shit, it's like, yo, who is the illest niggas out right now? Let me go ahead and just see what they do for a couple months, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slide in their DM and try to
right,
talk to them about it.
right. It's so crazy with the cover and shit. With everybody who had a part in the cover, like Andre Uncut with the taking the pictures and
Shout out to the homie.
Niles were putting it together. Like specifically with Niles, like our process of working together took 2 days, but I've been inspired by what he did, like what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been
Yeah,
checking out everything he does and how he puts it together and how fucking clean it is.
very clean.
This
Shout out to the
fucking
homie.
spacing, bro. The spacing, the fucking
Colors, like,
yeah, the colors, everything. Like I would spend a lot of time on his page and shit. Like, damn, this is because you know what it is too. Is like, yo, if I did this, this is how I would do it too. You know what I'm saying?
or
So I
yeah,
respected that. I respected that about him. So by the time I hit him up, he probably thought it was random, but I've been, knew that I wanted him to do that. You know what I'm saying? And as
yeah,
far as Andre Uncut too, man, I've been following him for years, bro. I will put people on,
same.
you know what I mean? I will put people on his shit, and it'll be girls I know, good looking girls that want to take pictures and shit. And I'd be like, yo, You should fuck with years ago, bro. Fuck with Andre Uncut. And so he'll meet them not even knowing me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they hit him up,
Yeah.
they go do it. He don't even know that I sent them over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
And it's
funny.
like, yeah, so that's how I am with like with when it comes to just collaborating, period, man. I be knowing about motherfuckers and really doing my doing my homework and doing the knowledge on people way before I even hit them up. You know what I'm saying?
Word, yeah. Nah, I've been likewise, like I've been following Andre Uncut for a while now on Instagram. I even asked him to hop on the podcast. He agreed to it. We just ain't locked in yet. But yeah, that dude is super talented with a camera, like in terms of the
Right.
vintage feel that he's able to capture, like it's actually really incredible.
Right. And it feels so East Coast. Like he
Word.
feels and it's just pictures, but
Mhm.
not saying it's just pictures, but it's pictures and it feels like East Coast, like a motherfucker. So like, I love that about him. Shit. So
No doubt. All right. So we done covered John Blaze, the process of, putting that together, the release of that. And shortly after the project came out, you happened to get into an accident, and I kind of want to touch on that for a bit. We don't got to get into too many details, but I kind of want to speak on that because it's kind of like a I mean, it was like a Kanye moment, like, yo, like at your highest height, and then shit come crashing down. So I want to speak to that. I want to speak to that process and that experience a little bit.
yeah, it's so crazy because it actually was a night it dropped. It was the night it dropped. I got into an accident, and it was my birthday and shit. But it's so crazy in the song "Perfect Time," and I broke a couple bones, but can't nothing hurt the spirit. And I did that months before I got into this accident and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little fun fact. It's kind of eerie when you think about it, but
word.
Yeah, man, this shit kind of changed my life, like low key. On high key, shit, that shit changed my life in as far as like the way I look at time and the way I look at like how precious this shit is. You know what I'm saying? Like being young, bro, and just having like the opportunities that we have and shit, man. It's just like, yo, that shit could be taken like nothing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Fast. And it's like, yo, I got fucking MacBooks over here, microphones, all types of shit. And it's like, how could I let it sit there now? It's like I
Yeah,
could have
word.
just lost my life. Like, what the fuck is we waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it out. Let's get it done. Like, and I'm just super inspired. I want to work. I always was a worker. I always knew how to grind and shit. But it's just like now, it's just like that's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, luckily, I made it out that situation and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with it, but I made it out that shit. And it's like one false move and I could not be here. So, yeah, it should just change my perspective as far as like, man, it's nothing to fucking wait on. It's nothing to wait on. Like, I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm disappearing again, or when I'm taking long to put out music. It's like, yo, this is what I want to do. I have the means to do it. This shit is not guaranteed, man. So it's just like time is moving. It just gave me a sense of urgency that I didn't have before. You know what I'm saying?
Word, absolutely.
Yeah.
So where does that put you moving forward in terms of making music? Like what's the timeline like?
Even that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I got the ability to make music, bro. I can't walk right now, but I could put the mic right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's really beautiful when you think about it, bro. Us being in the position that we are, bro. Like
absolutely.
Look at you, like you said, you in between doing what you're doing, and you got your mic set up. It's like
right in the
there
crib.
was never a time like this. You know what I'm saying? There was never a time like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful. And that's how all that making it bullshit is like, yeah, we made it. Let's just do it. Like, let's just go. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, by next week, not next week, by next month, in the next month, hopefully I'll be on my feet. Still promoting the project into the summertime because I want to hear how it sounds when it get hot and shit.
Word. Absolutely.
The summertime, I'm still finding ways to shoot videos and shit. Just drop the video, perfect timing. And it's like, really shit ain't stopped nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show, my brother. This has been a great conversation.
No doubt.
And
we got to build off camera one day, man.
You know? Oh, absolutely. And just let the people know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Low College, LOW College. My name Joe College, but Low College is, that's the spin, that's the Champagne Poppy, the Groovy Chew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and you can find me on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Joe College, and look out for John. John Blaze is still going. Summertime, it'll still be going. So check that shit out if you haven't.
Absolutely. And as always, you guys know you can find the podcast on Twitter at VS Mike History, on Instagram, and the Fanbase app at Versus Mike History. Everything Versus Mike History related can be found at versusmikehistory.com. You can find me on Twitter at Mike History and on Instagram at Last Name History. And I will see you beautiful Black people on the next episode.